Hi, welcome to SAP UI5 and Fiori demo. And in this demo, I'm going to cover the SAP UI5 overview and the Fiori. Hi, welcome to SAP UI5 and Fiori demo. My name is Kumar. I have 9 years of experience in implementing SAP UI solutions, and I have been working as a SAP UI5 architect. And in this demo video, I'm going to show you what is UI5 and what are the components of UI5 and overview and how the application looks like in the mobile device and application in the tablet and desktop. I'm going to show you a couple of demo apps which has been developed, and I will share you the course content in the end of the session. Yeah, before going to SAP UI5, just briefly go through how SAP user interfaces has been evolved. In SAP started its business in 1973. That point of time, there is no user interface. They have used command prompts for the inputs, and then the data will be displayed on the command prompt. And they don't have any buttons and then controls and the screens. And later on, they are slowly adding the buttons. And then in 1996, they delivered one package called GUI. GUI stands for Graphical User Interface, which is mainly developed by ABAP language. We can call it as model code program, or some call it as Danfo program. Even today, 100% of the SAP transactions are delivered in SAP GUI screens, which are much more compatible on SAP platform because these have been developed by ABAP language and tightly integrated with ABAP database, and performance and look and feel is very good. But only disadvantage of this is, in case if you want to connect to SAP, you need to have your own system, and then you need to install the SAP login pad. And if you are working on a client system, you have to connect to the client, and then you need to add the application server. And in the inside application server, you need to give that ports and everything. And finally, you need to connect the GUI using your credential. This is the flow. But the thing is, you cannot connect to SAP outside of your system. So, in case if you want to add it, you need to install the client VPN again. You need to install the GUI, and then you need to configure the GUI, and then you need to go. So it is not a user friendly because it is not a remote application. You have to create the application on your own or a client system itself. Okay. In 2000, SAP come up with a concept called WebDem Pro. What is the purpose of WebDem Pro is to make the GUI simple, in the sense the users can connect to SAP from their browser without installing any software, and it is open, like moving towards openness. So SAP UI5 WebDAM Pro is basically a browser-based GUI. There we can see the SAP data on the tables, and then it is only for the lightweight application. So we have some complex 3 codes in GUI, something called MRP controllers and everything. So we don't have that features in WebDAM Pro. And one thing is, these two are not suited for mobile platform. So we need to have one platform where we can deliver our SAP application to any target device, whether it is a mobile, whether it is a tablet, or whether it is any portable device or a laptop or desktop. Okay, that language is called UI5. And SAP UI5, what is the main advantage of SAP UI5 in the world is only SAP UI5 can fit the application with only single code to any target device, whether it is a mobile, whether it is a tablet, whether it is a desktop. So it will fit the application to any device with a single code. You don't need to work with different code snippets for different language. So it will automatically adapt to different devices. This is how the same application without code changes works on the phone, tablet, and desktop. See, in the phone, it will only show the master page, and once you select the sales order, it will go to the details page. And the tablet will have more space than the phone, so that it will accommodate the master page and the details page on a single screen. And in the in desktop, it will show you more details than tablet, because desktop can accommodate more screens, so that it will show you more details. Let's go back. What is SAP UI5? SAP UI5 stands for SAP Development Kit for HTML5. SAP UI is nothing but user interface. 5 is being derived from the HTML5. SAP UI5 is basically a HTML5 library. It is a modified version of HTML5 library, so that it will have the all features of HTML5. On top of that, you will have custom controls, something like automatic device handling and automatic resolution handling and everything. So SAP UI5 is basically front-end design language used for development of SAP UI5 app based on HTML5, CSS, and JavaScript. Actually, SAP UI5 is open language that can be used on any database. And the thing is, we are moving to more open world. So far, SAP is a restricted box, and we are moving towards more open world, like mobile application. So all mobile applications have roots in the JavaScript. So UI5 is basically combination of HTML5, CSS, and JavaScript. And what is the main advantage of SAP UI5 is it can fit on any screen and any device, and it will have cutting edge controls, because it is being derived from the HTML5. What are the features are delivered in HTML5 will be incorporated into the UI5. And powerful theming and branding, it is very simple and effective. SAP UI5 and efficiency and performance. SAP UI5 is a lightweight application, so that it will run smoothly on any device. So I will show you one demo application, so that you will understand how SAP UI5 can transform the SAP the front-end design languages from now onwards. And why SAP UI5 is a can work on any device. It can work on any device, and it can work on any operating system. Why? Because there are three kinds of apps in the mobile apps. One is a native app, one is a web app, one is a hybrid app. Native app is like just like you go to Play Store and then download the Android app, and that Android app will fit in your device, and that device that Android will use all the functions of the phone, and the gaming and camera, phone call, dialer, and then gyroscope and everything. It will take control of all phone resources, and it is very effective. And one disadvantage of this net mobile is it is OS dependent. Like in case if you want to have the application on Android, you have to get it download from the Google Play. But that Google Play application will not work in the iOS, because that is different OS. So that you have to develop the application in different OS, so that is depends on your OS. And this web app is nothing but is independent of OS, and there is no installation required. Just one sample example is m.facebook.com. There, when we do need to install app, that will directly call the application on your browser, so that it will call the data from the front end and display that. And here you can connect this application from any device. So that only disadvantage of this is it won't have that much effectiveness as native application. And the third one is hybrid mobile app. Hybrid of mobile app is nothing but I want to have the independent authority of the web app. Still, I want to have the features and the local resource handling of the native app, so that that can be handled by hybrid mobile app. Hybrid mobile app is independent of OS. Still, it can integrated with the phone function, so that it is effective as a native application and it is independent of OS. So SAP UI5 is basically a hybrid mobile app. And these features of SAP UI5 is it can fit on any screen and cutting edge controls, and it will have powerful theming and branding and efficiency and performance. And we have SAP ODATA consumption. I will show you the one demo application. There we will have, I will show you how the SAP data is going from backend to front end service. And SAP UI5 is basically front end language, that is we need to develop them on the Eclipse. So it is open language, so that it is easy to learn, and then we can customize a beautiful Fiori application using JavaScript. What are the basic things we need to learn UI5? I'm going to cover the basics as well in the course content. That's HTML5, plus we need basic building blocks of HTML, and we need to learn the jQuery basics. And CSS3 is a very small topic, so that we will integrate these three, and then we will create one UI5 front-end service. And OData is for back-end service. So in the next slide, I am going to show you what is the architecture of SAP UI5. SAP UI5 is basically a three-layer architecture. End user will have the mobile client. They will request the data from the backend system. So that request will be forwarded to the Netweaver system, and then Netweaver system will convert the request into ABAP, and then this SAP system will return the data in ABAP, and then this Netweaver system will return the data in OData. So here, if you see the application, there are two parts in SAP UI5. One is a front-end service, one is a back-end service. Front-end service we are going to develop in the Eclipse IDE, and what are the language we use for front-end design is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And backend service is purely a web. There we will integrate the function modules with the SAP Netweaver Gateway Builder. So there we will develop the backend service, and then we will integrate backend and front-end service, so that it will create a one end-to-end application. Here one important point to note is mobile client can be anything. It can be Android device, it can be iOS device, or it can be any browser request. Like in case of if you are activating the request from the phone, it will be Android or iOS. If you are connecting the application from your laptop or desktop, it is purely from your browser card. So that based on this, our UI5 application will work. See, like what is the future of SAP UI5 is, in case if you get any custom requirement, you can directly go and create one application in SAP using SAP UI5. SAP UI5 is a front-end design language, so that you can design your own set of screens and then buttons, so that you can directly create a new application. In case of existing application, like we have thousands of transaction codes in SAP, so that so far those are in SAP GUI or WebDM Pro, so that not suitable for the mobile platform. So what we need to do, we need to move all the transaction codes into SAP UI5, and that is the main thing SAP is focusing on. Like I am giving you example of couple of the apps: leave request, time sheet approval, or purchase order approval, or purchase requisition approval. These are all the main apps which has been used across all the clients. So what SAP is doing is they are delivering the standard app for that business, and then we need to customize that apps, and then we need to deploy in our mobile. Those apps are called Fiori apps. So that in case if you develop one UI5 application using this new approach, purely custom, even the app is called Fiori app. Here the SAP with itself will give you the app, so that you need to customize in your system. That is called Renew. That is a Fiori app. So these are the two ways we can use SAP UI5. And for remaining transactions like complex transactions like MRP controller and bond, we can enable them in SAP screen persona. It's not suited for the mobile platform. The thing is, screen persona will enhance the appearance of the screen. That's it. And front-end design is basically is based on MEC architecture. MEC architecture is very popular in Java and .NET platforms. So in the view, we develop the layouts, and the controller will have the functionality to validate and then send the response to the views, and then get the request, generate the request to models, and then get the response. Okay. So controller will have the logic and model will have the data. So we are using this approach for implementing SAP applications in Eclipse environment. And this is how our application looks like. The web content, we will have the apps and the controllers, and the model will have the data. So see this one, like whenever we HTML is index.html is the trigger point into our application, so that when you click on this one, it will load the data in the component.js, and then it will call the view, and then that view will based on your navigation, it will call the master or detail pages, and then it will display the data in the UI5 application. And this is how the real world application in the Eclipse. This is the screenshot of the Eclipse. This is how the code looks like, and most of the code is auto generated in UI5, so that I will explain that feature in our application. This is the backend service. Backend service is by default it will get developed in the SAP server. So this is the screenshot of the SCGW transaction code. There we will develop the entities and then corresponding models, and we will map the services to the function module, so that whatever you do from the front end, that will act accordingly in your backend system and send the response back to the front end system. So this is the design of the backend service, and this is how the backend service will deliver the data. See this one, this is the result of the request. So if you give the request, that will send go to SAP, and then retrieve the data and display it in this format. SAP UI5 will understand this format and then update the content on your UI5 screens. And what are the things you need for SAP UI5? For developing the backend service, you need to have idea about the app, and front-end services you need to have HTML5, JavaScript, and CSS. And SAP system access and installation. For backend service, we need to have the SAP system, that is EHP7 system, so that I can provide you the free online access for the SAP system, and so that we can develop the backend service. And for creation of the front end service, we need Eclipse and then JDK, so that I will provide you the list of all softwares. All these softwares are available free in Google, so you can download them, and then I will assist you in configuration of the SAP front end development. So that first we will develop the backend, and then we will develop the front end, and then we will integrate these two components and make one end-to-end UI5 and Fiori app. And many of might not be aware of this SAP HANA Web IDE. Web IDE is one of the free service provided by the SAP. There you can create your own login, and you don't need to install a click. You don't need to have the SAP system, so that will itself have the integration of these two. And this is nothing but it's a web-based IDE, so that you can work in the web-based IDE for this UI5 application. This is the link you can create your IDE so that you can work. And what is the feedback about SAP UI5? The beautiful feedback about SAP UI5 is SAP UI5 is simple like a Facebook or Google. So you can imagine how the SAP UI5 is going to penetrate into the user base in future. So all our SAP application will move into SAP UI5 space, so that all the things can be accessed from a mobile device user. So this is the advantages of the Wi-Fi, and this is our course content. I'm going to cover the introduction architecture, and I'm going to cover the software components and how to install the components. Once we will go through the component part, they can go to backend service. Backend service, we will create a Netweaver gateway services, and we will create the ODATA services based on your gateway service. I will show you how to post, how to put, how to delete operation, and it's a front end. Front end, I will cover the basics of HTML5, CSS3, and then JavaScript. And after covering this one, we will go to development of SAP UI5 application by simple program, and then bindings, and then how to display the data in the tables and everything. So once we develop this one, we are going to create one end-to-end project, so that you can post the application from your mobile, and that will retrieve the data from your SAP database and show you in your mobile. And I will take you to some of the Fiori basics are like, if you have one application, but that application SAP already provided you one standard app, so that how to configure that app and everything. So that I will cover these three things, like what configuration of Fiori apps, and then how to use templates and everything. And the course is basically which hands-on type, so that we are going to have the more hands-on example, and we will have the more real-time situation and problem, so that we will go through the each and every problem, and we can at end of this course, we can confidently say I can develop one application. And before conclusion of this session, I will show you a few apps. See this one? This is the screen. This is the development which has been to update the material data, and delete the material data, or create the or extend the material data. All these things. When you click on this material, it will show you pop up, and here in the fields you can update the details of the material, and then click on update, and you can delete even, and you can modify the content and save it. Okay, this is the sample application. It will you can even create and everything, so that in a real time situation you can do all the operations, something like creating and deleting and updating, and then reading the data from the SAP. These four are the basic operations in any development application. And by at end of this course, how we are going to see our application. This is the one of the application, sales order application. See this one, if I click on one sales order, that we can see the item details of that particular sales order, so that you can verify the details, and then you can approve the sales order. See this one, this is one of the sample app. So we are going to develop the app like this, so that this is much different from your SAP screen, so that user will have more. This screen will give you more details about more responsive data to the users on their mobile platform. This is all about the theory, and I will show you one important feature. I'm explaining this application to you in my laptop, where I just want to show you how this application will look like in iPhone 5. Okay, we have a console tool. This is in case of iPhone 5, it hides the header details. It is only showing the item details. In case if you want to get the header details, you need to check the corner and then click on that one so that you will get the item details here. So when the code automatically adjusts according to screen resolution. By we don't need to code according to each and every device. So this is the beautiful feature of SAP UI5 so that it can fit on any device. And I will show you some of the apps which are developed by the SAP itself. So if you see this, okay, before going to that, I will show you this one SAP. What is SAP Fiori Client? SAP Fiori Client is one of the app in Google Play. Once you develop our application, just configure the URL in the SAP Fiori Client so that it will work as a hybrid application in your mobile. So I will explain you once we create the UI5 application, we will integrate that to SAP Fiori client and then create one end-to-end mobile app. See this one, this is a timesheet application in the SAP. So just if you click on this one, you can add the entries and then you can delete the entries and everything. This is the simple SAP UI5 application. So we are going to create the application like this and then we need to deploy the application in the mobile. This is all about SAP AI5 overview. And thanks for your time on SAP AI5. And hopefully, we will meet you again. Thank you.